Moving around the bog a little bit further, over here we've got some Sarracenia purpurea heterophylla here. Again, absolutely exceptional, really done really well. Such bright, vivid green colours from these plants, and the flowers are spectacular, and they had the petals on them too. So this is a great plant for a bog garden. They are a bit slower growing than the typical purpurea, but fantastic, really good. One here that has been a bit slow for me, but I know other growers do well, is the Darlingtonia Californica. Looks a bit sad here, to be honest. It might get going. I mean, I've grown them in the past outside. They took a while to get going, but I think they will eventually. I know they've put some of the runners we broke off, and one's just coming up here. You can see this over here. There's a runner starting to come up. Maybe, you know, once they get going for a bit. This is their first full year, so these things do take time, I suppose. There's another runner here. So hopefully this will break and start to form young plants. And here we have Purpurea intermedia, you can see here. Young plants just coming up. Again, probably from the sphagnum moss, because we didn't plant them there. And there's another rotundifolia. When it rains, it floods, and again these are completely submerged under the water, to give you an idea. Another question we've had from people regarding the bog garden is, how do we water it, or do we water it? Yes, we do water it. And does it need watering? Yes, it does. And this year we've watered it once, which isn't too bad. We've had a fair bit of rain. And how we water it through these pipes here, and these are connected up to our rainwater tanks. So we've got rainwater coming. We're not watering with tap water, we're watering with rainwater. When we've had the bogs further up the garden, we did the trial for the RHS for growing Sarracenias outside year round, and that was a 5-year trial, and we found we usually needed to water the bog July time. Most of the year they were absolutely fine, but July it does get a bit hot, and that's when they required watering. Once you get to August, towards the end of August, we start to get the rains again, and it's almost self-sufficient. So yes, you do need to keep an eye on watering. Another question people have asked, because it does look a bit misleading, I'm sat on the edge of the bog here. If you remember, it's a sleeper on edge with another one on top, screwed down into the first sleeper. Now this looks quite deep. You'd think that the medium was about this sort of depth, about a foot nearly, but it isn't. All the soil we removed for the footing of the sleepers was put back in. So some areas of this bog are only about 2 or 3 inches deep. So it does undulate a lot. That's why the water table is quite high, so everything's hydrated. The root run on Sarracenia is very meagre. They do not require deep peat or deep medium, because the roots they're fairly shallow rooted, and they'll go out, and I find it has no effect on them whatsoever. So there's no need for deep bogs at all. You can have it fairly shallow. And another way you could do it is put something in there to bring the bottom up, say old bricks or brick rubble, but obviously you have to make sure there was something to protect the liner so you don't pierce the liner. So you don't need to use as much compost as you'd think. So if we look a bit further around. Now here are some more purpurea. North Carolina flava, again, great doer. Sarracenia purpurea venosa, good, done well. Sarracenia bella, which is a Micheliana cross with leucophylla, very good. We used this in the trial, and it was exceptional towards the end of the season. It's still only July. There's a lot more to come from this plant yet. They do very well outside. Moving around a bit further, Aureophylla again. Sarracenia tigo, which has done well. See sphagnum starting to get going here. This was done just by cutting up into small pieces and sprinkling over the damp medium, and it's come up really well. You can see here, Purpurea intermedia. Again, it's just come up from the moss. I find there's just so much interest in the bog. If you just have a look over it, They really are worth growing outside. I mean, these are not purely glasshouse plants at all. I mean, I can't stress the enjoyment we've had from growing them outside. So I'm always coming out to have a look at them. You can see them catching flies and the flowers and the bright colours. And the comments we get from people that aren't familiar with carnivorous plants, the most common one is, well, when do you put them in the greenhouse? What time of year do you put them away? And when you tell them that they're out here all year round, they just find it, you know, quite unbelievable. They just look so tropical and exotic. Well, we've got some other things over here. This is a smaller bog. Over here we've got some Drosera filiformis, which have overwintered really well. You can see them here. A nice Flava ornata, a North Carolina, a Pender County form, which has done well. Over here is a Rita Sopa by Leah Wilkerson. Slow, but it's loads more to come on it, as you can see. So this will have an interest right the way through into September for sure. This one's done better than we thought. This is the red-lipped Sarracenia leucophylla. Now you can see it's not as tall as you would get them under glass, but it's got really strong coloration. And it's really upright and tough. New pictures coming on them. I'm not sure we'll get the second crop in September that we do under glass, because these are quite a long way behind plants in the greenhouse. Fingers crossed we will. But around this side, this for me has done the best. Look at this, Venus flytrap, Darlingtonia Californica, overwintered outside. I've left the flowers on just to see what it would do. It's done fantastic. Super happy plant. So that's overwintered, no problem outside. The minimum we had this year out here, I mean, we're not really cold this year. We're down to about -3, I suppose maximum, the coldest night we had. But, you know, I'm sure they're all over winter out. Well, I hope you enjoyed looking around the bog garden. I will do another update later, because you know, I'm just so pleased with it, and I'm sure quite a lot of you are in the process of making a bog garden or thinking of building one. Well, I can tell you it's well worth it. You'll enjoy it, and it'll bring you hours of fun. So until next time, see you later.